everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here and have never seen my face before, hi, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my channel. On this channel I do organizing tips, I do a bunch of hauls, grocery hauls, home decor hauls, and I also do some cleaning videos. So on this video I'm actually doing 13 tips for school. This can be for your children, or this can be for adults who are going to maybe college, or this could even, some of these tips could be used in the workplace. So if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the little bell notification next to it so that way you don't miss any of my videos. So let's get started on these 13 tips for the school year. Alright guys, so tip number 1 is to have a designated spot for book bags, lunch bags, jackets, anything that your kids might come home with. I think that is so important to have that. I have to say, while I'm in school, we actually have we have a couple stools that we don't use that much, like bar stools, and I will actually put my book bag up there because it's near the kitchen, and since I cook dinner when I get home, I see it. You can have where you hang like little hooks on the wall, or you can make it where your children maybe put their book bags near the entryway. I think that's so important. I think lunchbox would be really well if they have maybe a designated spot somewhere on the counter or an island or anywhere, so that way you can kind of have a routine already set, and then also you can actually talk to your kids about maybe them emptying their lunchbox, or maybe even them like having it where they make their own lunch. Okay guys, so tip number 2 is have a place where your kids put any paperwork that you have to look at. Especially on the first day of school, in the first week, you're going to have a lot of paperwork that you have to fill out. Maybe forms for teachers, things that, maybe have to do with some information the teacher needs to know about your child. I think that would be really smart to have that maybe in the kitchen, or kind of where your kids do their homework, or maybe somewhere if you have an office. It'd be really important to do that, because then that way when the paper goes in there, you know that this means that this has to be signed and returned back to the teacher. Tip number 3 is to have a homework station. I think this is super important, especially if you have little ones that have to use crayons or markers for their homework, or if you have older kids that need to use a calculator or a ruler or a compass, just anything that they need for school. Having a homework workstation where you can have pens, markers, pencils, extra paper, scissors, tape, anything that I might need for their homework, and you can have it in a little bin. I recommend going to the dollar store, because the dollar store has the cute little bins that you can actually put things in, and they're also a lot cheaper than going to like Walmart or Target and getting them. Alright guys, tip number 4 is having a hair styling bin. If you're a parent and you have multiple children and you have, let's say, at least one girl or more, or you have boys that have long hair, or you like doing their boys' hair, and it would be really important to have another bin for hairspray, hair gel, brushes, combs, hair bows. That way where your kids are sitting at the table, or if you have maybe a routine where the kids like sit on the couch and read books or watch TV, that way you're not having to run upstairs, find the brushes or find the combs, find the hair gel, and this way you can do their hair at the table while they're eating breakfast, or you can do their hair right before they leave. I think that's an excellent tip, because then everything you need will be in one little container. Alright guys, tip number 5 is to have a designated place where your kids' clothes go at night. Whether it's clothes that the kids, like a uniform, or just regular clothes that the kids can wear to school. I think it'd be really important to do that, so that way in the morning your kids are not having to run in the closet or run in their drawers and try to figure out what matches, what doesn't match, what they can wear and can't wear. Because I know when I was in school, they had rules against certain clothing that we could wear and not wear, and you would hate to have to bring a piece of clothing up to the school for your child because he or she did not wear the appropriate clothing. You can get the little hanging organizers that can come with Monday through Friday. You can even add Saturday and Sunday with it, and then that way you can put their shirt, their pants, their underwear, their socks, whatever they need in there, and then when Monday comes around, all they have to do is just pull it out, and then you don't have to worry about if they have appropriate clothes or not. Okay guys, so tip number 6 is kind of a money saving hack. Instead of buying the little individual packages of, let's say, trail mix, go ahead and just buy a giant bag of it. I'm telling you guys, it will last a lot longer. And then 2, you can also make little individual bags yourself, because I know sometimes when you get those little things of trail mix, there's either too much or too little, and then you can also control what actually goes in there. I think that's super useful, because I know sometimes the trail mix that we get, there's sometimes a lot of like candy in it, and then this way you can kind of control how much M&Ms are in it, for example. You can also do this with goldfish. You can get the big container of goldfish and then just pour them in little individual baggies. Alright guys, so tip number 7 is to have a designated place for library books. I know when I was in school, sometimes we would have to do projects in like elementary school, and we'd have to go check out library books, and I can't tell you guys how many times I've probably lost my library books, and then have found them in the bookshelf, or found them underneath the bed, or other random places. And this also works if you're a family that goes to the library each week to get new books. You can get a container from the dollar store, or maybe Target, or even Walmart, and kind of have that as the designated library container. You can do a container, you can do a boxes, anything where your kids know that when they are done reading their library books, it goes back in that container, so that way when it comes time for the library books to be taken back, you already know that all the library books are in that place, and you don't have to worry about going to find them. Alright guys, tip number 8 is to kind of more save space, but also kind of a useful tip in my opinion. So when I was in school, my mom saved certain things that she wanted to keep as the years went by. This might have been something we made for like Mother's Day, Father's Day, or holiday stuff, or even the cute little things you make that your kids make during Christmas. And so what she actually did is that she had a little drawers that would keep all of those. But my tip is to have a container that has the child's name on the front, and have it where you have individual folders, and you can put in those folders things that you want to keep, things that you might want to keep, and then things that are like 100% important to you. And what I mean by that is one folder can be things that you definitely want to keep. Let's say it's their first homework assignment from kindergarten, you can put it in that folder. Another folder could be things that you're maybe thinking of keeping, like maybe it's their first test that they did, or maybe it's some homework that you thought they did really awesome on. And then you can actually have a folder also that could just put all their homework in, or stuff that you might want to keep. That way at the end of the year you can go through, figure out what you want to keep, don't keep, and the rest you can recycle. Okay guys, I think this is a really creative one, and I've heard a bunch of parents doing this. So tip number 9 is to take pictures of your children's artwork. We all know that our children do art every single week, pretty much every single day. Your kids are going to come home with lovely art pictures for you that they want you to put on the fridge or hang up on the wall. So one thing you can actually do is take pictures with your phone and create a photo book. You could do this by Shutterfly, or you could even make your own little scrapbook. This way you still have the paintings, but this way you don't have a huge stack of paintings sitting somewhere in your house. If there's something that child made that you really think is just special and you really want to keep the actual artwork, have somewhere we can actually put the actual artwork in. This way at the end of the year, after the children have been in school for all those months, you don't have a huge stack of artwork that you have to go through and try to figure out which one I want to keep and which ones I don't want to keep. Alright guys, number 10, I have to say, would probably been a lifesaver when I was in school, and probably a lifesaver for a bunch of other people too, is to have a survival kit in your car. Like a homework survivor kit, or a school survivor kit. And what I mean by that is having maybe a bag, or having a container, or maybe having a pencil pouch that has extra pencils, pens, glue guns, scissors, anything that your child might need that they might have left at home. Because I can't tell you how many times I've had people ask me to borrow pencils or to borrow pens, and I'm telling you guys, we all know that our children don't lose all the pencils. It's just because, one, they lose them, but two, people also borrow them and don't give them back. So this way you can have a pouch at the school, so if your child just happens to look through their book bag and be like, oh man, I totally forgot my scissors for today, you can reach in that bag, throw them in their book bag, and then you don't have to worry about them not having scissors for that day. Alright guys, so number 11 is kind of a two-part deal because they both go together. The first part is to freeze sandwiches. This one will save you time, so much time. So maybe on Sunday, if you're getting ready for the week, or whatever day that you have that you get ready for the week, it could be the weekend or, on Mondays, go ahead and make a bunch of PB&J sandwiches or ham and cheese, whatever type of sandwiches your kids like, and stick them in bags and freeze them. By the time the kids get to school and they have lunchtime, the sandwiches will be thawed and they'll taste fresh. And just a tip, if you do ham and cheese or turkey or any type of meat and your kids like condiments on it like mustard or mayonnaise, put that between the meat or the cheese. Do not put it on the bread, because I'll tell you guys, if you put the condiments directly on the bread, when it thaws out, your bread's going to be really smushy. Part 2 of this is to have your kids pack their own lunches if they're old enough. I think this is a really good way to teach your kids responsibility, but you can actually make it into sort of like a game in a way. But you can have containers in your pantry where the kids can reach them, and then you have containers in your fridge, or have somewhere in your fridge where the kids can get things. And you can also, if your kids are like learning numbers, which I think is a great way, you can maybe have like fruit, pick one, fruit snacks or crackers, pick one, either water or juice, and say pick one. If you want them to have like a veggie, you can say pick one or pick two. I think that's important because one, that would teach them how to be responsible. Two, they'll get to pick what they really want in their lunchbox, because I know growing up, whenever my mom made her lunches, I wouldn't always eat everything that she put in there. But also, I think this is a great way to teach your kids about responsibility, and for them to know. I mean, of course, don't leave your kids forgetting to make their lunch, but also have a place where you have all your lunch stuff, so like your canteens, your water bottles, your lunch boxes, maybe like little, if you like put food in like containers, have those containers available. Okay guys, so tip number 12 is to have somewhere near your door where you have a don't forget list. As you guys might have seen in my Hobby Lobby haul, we got that little felt board where we can put letters on there. You guys don't have to do something like that because it does take a while to kind of get the letters on there and to look nice, but what you can do is have a dry erase board, or have maybe a sticky note or a note that sits on the door that says, hey, don't forget this. So maybe if your kid has a project, you can say, don't forget blah blah blah's project, don't forget keys, don't forget this, don't forget your lunch, things like that. I have to say, I've actually had to do that with Jared, because he's actually forgotten his lunch a few times, and so then I have to, and of course this is my boyfriend, by the way, not my child. I don't have any kids, if you guys are new here. But I think it's important to do that, because I will actually put a note on the door that he sees right when he's unlocking the door to leave, that says, hey, don't forget your lunch, to remind him. Alright guys, and the last tip I have for you guys is to put your kids on their wake up / bedtime schedule at least a week before school starts. I have to tell you guys, when I was growing up, during the summertime, we could stay up as late as we wanted, and we could wake up pretty much as late as we wanted, as long as we were awake, at least not past 12. I've personally done this when I had to go to school early in the morning, like in high school. A week before school started, I then started going to bed at the time I actually needed to go to bed, and then actually started waking up at the time that I needed to wake up. I know it's kind of rough for your kids, but I think that would definitely help, especially if it's their first time going to school, like for kindergarten, for example. They're probably going to have to get up earlier than they're actually used to, and probably go to bed a lot earlier than they're used to, so this way their body can already have it in their system already. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed those 13 tips. Hopefully these help you for your family, or even you personally. I know the lunch hack I'm definitely going to be using. The note system we already use, and putting out our clothes the night before, I actually do that because Sometimes I wake up a little bit before Jared does, but sometimes he wakes up before me. So this way it kind of makes it where you're not bothering other people. I will also actually like make my coffee the night before, so then all I have to do is just turn it on and have fresh coffee in the morning. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you already are a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, because that will make sure that you guys don't miss any notifications of when I do upload. And if you are new here, my uploading days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.